Hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. I hope you're all having the most amazing day ever so far and thank you so much for joining me here today. Today is a little bit of a different and very special video. I collaborated with the incredible BojanaSims. If you are not aware of BojanaSims, I will link all of her socials down below, as well as her video where she shows off her Sequoia save file. She approached me and basically asked me to decorate the interior of this beautiful house, and not to worry, the screenshots at the end of the video also include the outside so that you can really see this amazing house in all of its glory. But I had such a blast decorating this house. It was huge. When I opened this up, I was like, oh my gosh, how do I even do this house justice? So I actually ended up fitting 6 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms into this house, as well as like a garden room just at the top there, and also a home office. So this house has everything that you and your Sims could possibly need and or want. It's not pack restricted. I have used a majority of the packs. I have plenty of like pack restricted builds on my channel, and I am planning on doing another pack restricted build very shortly I'm planning on base game, seasons and spooky stuff because obviously I want to create like either a spooky house or like an autumnal like Halloween house. I don't know yet. But anyway, this is the living room. I love this living room. It did scare me a little bit at first just because of the sheer size of it, and that was nothing to do with the exterior structure. It was just because I couldn't really work out an alternative floor plan for this house, but it actually ended up working out really well. I wanted to perhaps create a dining space in here because of the space, but I just decided to allow your Sims to have a little bit more floor space than I would typically go for with one of my builds, because I say big builds scare me, but then every now and again I'll create a build and I'll be super shocked when I get onto the inside and realize just how big it is. I do this all the time. It's a running joke between me and my 2 friends, Miss Simrina and Reese, and it's like a running joke at this point, because I always say like, oh, I finished the exterior, and then my next message on Discord will be, yeah, the interior is huge. I don't even know what I'm gonna do here. So it's almost like I've been like training for this my entire Sims building career. I'm using the air bunnies as like the quote Sims building career. But yeah, I loved building, decorating this house. It was super refreshing because sometimes it's just really nice to have an exterior structure and style, and then you have to then work out a floor plan for the inside, and then also like the interior decor and like all the themes and color schemes and stuff. But yeah, anyway, I did decide to work on the living room first so that I could kind of get a good gauge of the feel and the sort of theme of the house that I wanted to go for here, and I'm glad I did. I will normally start on the living room. Actually, sometimes I'll start on the kitchen. It really just depends on the house and or the build. So I know with apartments, I think I tend to start with the kitchen first. I don't know. Again, it just really depends on the floor plan and like the theme of the build and what I'm wanting to do. But one thing to note, I do end up changing out the fireplace in this room because basically the way that the exterior structure works is like platforms leading up to the house. So actually the inside is like up one platform. So when I put this fireplace in, it kind of clipped into one of the rooms on the upper floor. So I switch out this fireplace to the one from Growing Together, and I don't think I did this on camera. So it's just worth noting that it really doesn't make too big of a difference, but it does kind of change the vibe of the room. I don't know whether that's just me overthinking it. It could very well be. Anyway, then this is me trying to figure out which items I needed to place in here to make the space look a little less empty and like a little more homey, you know. And again, I wanted your Sims to have quite a lot of room to just like be in this room. My idea for this house was that like, so during Winterfest you've got room to put up a tree. When it's spooky day, I was going to say Halloween, when it's spooky day, your Sims can maybe throw a party in here, or they can throw birthdays here, and I wanted there to just be plenty of space for your Sims. Now, I think this room was my favorite to work on because it was the most fun. I knew that I wanted to have like a teen in here. I just knew that right off the bat. It's been a while since I've built a house myself with a garage space, and I don't want to say the last time I did it was when I built in Copperdale when the High School Years pack came out, and I did a couple of builds where I put some of the teens in like the garage, and I don't mean that in a horrible way. I mean in like the parents had renovated the garage and made it into a bedroom for their teens, and that's kind of what I wanted to do here. But it was more like they've done a little bit of renovation, but they've still got like a washer and dryer in here. They've still got like a ping pong table in here and stuff like that. But the teen doesn't mind, you know, they really don't mind at all. They're just kind of, I don't know, they're a bit more loose about it. They're a bit more casual about it, and they love having their own space. If you'll notice as well, the only way to access this room is to go in through the doors just on the left here, which is also something that I actually really quite liked about this build. And I did notice that there was a washing line in the back of the house, so I did decide to put a washer and dryer in here. I wasn't necessarily going to do that, but I think having them in the garage is quite realistic too, so I really liked that we did that here, which I adore this house. I had such a good time, and I was so honoured that BojanaSims actually asked me to decorate this house because it's stunning, and her entire Sequoia save is just beautiful. She's got such a unique, like, I don't know, like build style, and I know immediately when she's built a house. I don't even need to see that it's her that's built it. I already know that she's built a house when she does it, and that's like, that's where I want to be. I want to be like, someone goes, that's a RachelPedd house, you know? Anyway, this is the kitchen space. So we did finish off the garage slash bedroom. Again, probably my favorite room in the entire house. But this is the kitchen. I knew I wanted the kitchen to be on this side of the property. I do have a bathroom off the kitchen. Now, I think from what I've been told, this is quite typical for perhaps an older house, which I wouldn't necessarily say this house is super old. It's definitely very well taken care of, but it's also very traditional as well. So I did decide to put the bathroom here. I just thought it worked out quite well, really. And I don't think I don't like to get too deep with interiors, like as in floor plans for Sims houses, because I think you can drive yourself absolutely nuts if you want it to be far too realistic, because then you're blurring the lines between like Sims and reality, you know? You want to still feel like you're playing The Sims. And I do like the fact that my houses have probably got that little bit of cartoonish style to them, you know? Anyway, I went off on a complete ramble and I'm talking through the entire kitchen. I really like the kitchen. Actually, I quite like how it turned out. I do turn this area here into the dining space, which I couldn't think of anything else to put here, and I figured because it's such a big house, the Sims are going to need somewhere to eat. And I also love this garden room off to the, well, now the left. It's such a beautiful idea. I would call that a conservatory, but I know that like some people might call it something else, but it's just so stunning. I could have put that as the dining space, but I did decide to just turn that into like a second seating area without a TV, so that your Sims can just chill in there if they want to, just to get some quiet time or whatever. But I love it, and it's definitely something now that I've seen BojanaSims do it, I'm definitely more inclined to perhaps do it myself and try it myself in one of my other builds. So this is where we do start decorating it. I'd already decided that I was just going to have this as like a really calm seating area. This, for me being from the UK, this is pretty much what most people use their conservatories for. It's just like a second seating area. I've seen people turn it into like a dining space and everything like that, but in the summer, these rooms can get very, very, very hot because they have like a glass ceiling and then just like windows all around. So I wouldn't imagine the Sims use this room very much, but it's still a really nice addition to the build, if that makes sense. It was also important for me to include as many sort of activities in this house as possible as well, because I think we're going to have upwards of, let's just do a quick count. So there's 6 bedrooms. Let's just say off the top of my head like 7 or 8 Sims. So you've got pretty much a full house. I wanted there to be space for everyone to like get away from one another if they want to, or space for them to also be together if they want to. They can do different activities. They can do whatever they want in this house. And it was just really important for me to get all that in here, you know? Anyway, this is the office. I really like how the office turned out. Actually, it's such a small room, but I really don't think offices need to be too big anyway. So perhaps one of the parents has a working from home job, or like the kids use this to do their homework. You can turn that into whatever you want to if you don't want it to be a home office. But this is the downstairs bathroom. I think I included all the footage for all the bathrooms in this video, which is not, I wouldn't normally do that. I'd include one of the bathrooms and then cut out the rest. But I think because we didn't do anything with the exterior structure, I was like, oh, I'll just leave it in there. It doesn't really matter. So with the bathrooms, I kept them quite plain and simple, but I did also want them to all be kind of different from one another as well. And then we move on to the upper floor. This is the main bedroom. So this is where I envisioned the parents. And again, it's a very big space. It's quite an unusual shape because of the exterior, but I really liked that about this room. I think we fit in everything we needed to, but not over cluttering it again. So the rooms feel very spacious and your Sims can just do whatever they want in here. There's plenty of room for activities, and I've just realized that's like anyway, plenty of room for activities. And yeah, I didn't want to overdo it in here because I don't know, I really tried to hold back on like main bedrooms. Where I'll go to town on clutter is like kids' rooms and teen rooms, and this is one of the kids' rooms that I worked on. So I already had picked out which bed I wanted to use. This is from high school years, and then I sort of built the colour scheme around that. So each of the kids' rooms and teen rooms has their own colour scheme, and I just love, because there were so many bedrooms to decorate, I really just had an absolute blast doing this. I really did. Teen rooms and kids rooms and like babies rooms, toddler rooms is definitely like my forte and probably where I shine the most. And I've been itching to use this cow print chair for the longest time because I don't think I've actually used it in a build yet. And it's so funny because when that pack came out, or sorry, when that kit came out, I was fangirling over that cow print chair so bad. I've never actually used it. So yeah, just cluttering up this room. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's just a really nice room. It's a nice space, and I do use a lot of items from the high school years pack here because I wanted it to be perhaps like a child who's about to be a teen. I wouldn't necessarily say that this is overly like a childish room. It definitely has like more grown-up elements, but she's maybe not quite a teen yet, but she's about to be a teen. And then I think I also remembered to put laundry baskets in all of the bedrooms as well, because we do have a washer and dryer in this house. So I was like, pat on the back for me. This is where the toddler is. I don't really ever do toddler bedrooms. It's something that I definitely overlook, but I figured with this being I would class this as like a generations house, but I suppose it just depends on how you see it. But yeah, it seems to be a while since I've done a toddler room, so I just had the best time decorating this. And the beauty is that I wasn't really thinking if there was a boy or a girl sim in here. It's quite gender neutral, but I also figured that when they grow up, and if your Sims decide to have another child, you can put bunk beds in these rooms, you can do whatever, but they can grow into this room. You know, you can definitely switch out the toddler bed for a regular sized bed. You can rejig some of the furniture and really make the space your own. So yeah, I do really like this room. I love the colours that we went for. It's kind of mismatchy but also quite matchy at the same time, but it's just super youthful, and I do love that about that room. And then I think this is my favourite room of the upstairs. I think it is. I've used this bed from high school years I've used this bed from high school years before, but not in this swatch. So this room was just like, I just went to town on this room. I absolutely loved doing this room. I've never used this rug in this swatch. Both rugs in this swatch. I've gone for like a darker, I wouldn't say gothic interior, but just like that darker vibe. And this teen's probably into like rock music, and she's like maybe a little bit of an outcast, and she's got her own like gothic grungy style going on. I could just imagine the teen that was in this room. And I do realize when I'm building and decorating these houses, sorry, I didn't build this house, but when I'm decorating the interior of these houses, sometimes I'll go super neutral with stuff, and you can move pretty much any sim you want into the house. I think with this house, especially with the bedrooms, I definitely had like certain sims in mind. So I do apologize for that. However, it just allowed me to use a lot of items in swatches that I've never used them in before, and I just had so much fun. Obviously, if you want to change any of the swatches in here, to like softer colours or like more bluey colours or yellow colours, then you can definitely do that and just keep all of the furniture. That's one of the things I love about The Sims 4 is that you can just change the entire look of this room if you wanted to by just going in and changing the swatches. So I wouldn't advise it. I would advise like changing your sim into like, if she's not already like this gothic, grungy rock chick, just to fit the vibe of this room, because I love it so very much. And I think you can tell how much fun I actually had with this, but I just ended up putting a few more trinkets on the wall, and then that pretty much sums it up for that bedroom. I also realized that I put so many rugs in that room, and I had to put that cow print rug in there because I've never used that before either. I was like, this is a perfect opportunity to use it. So then we move on to this room, which I envisioned to have twin boys in. I can imagine that they're relatively young, but again, maybe they're going to be teenagers quite soon because it's not a super childish bedroom at all. I did want to use this little seat from the little campers kit because I've never used it before, and then I was like, I just don't like the way it looks, so I think I just take that out and then leave one chair. I don't really know why I did that actually, because obviously there are 2 Sims in here, but anyway. I love this like fish or like aqua rug. I love it so much. I can't even remember where that rug is from. Is it from the toddler stuff pack? I don't know. Anyway, if I have used it, I've used it like once. So I think with this build I was trying to use items that I haven't really ever used before, or I use quite infrequently, just to get like a different sort of vibe and a different style coming across in this build. But I was also planning on turning some of these bedrooms into like YouTube shorts or like TikToks, so that some people can perhaps like see the process and like the color schemes and stuff like that. So you'll have to let me know if that's something that you would be interested in. But this room is pretty much nearly finished. I just add some activities here for the boys. They've got like a bookshelf. I can't remember if I put a computer in here or if I just left the desk blank so that they can just do their homework on it, because remember there is a home office in this build, so you can just allow them to do that down there. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the build. And I also realized, I'm so sorry, I did decorate the upstairs bathrooms off camera, as you can see. So I'm sorry, I lied to you, I do apologize. But if you would like to download this build, I believe it's available on BojanaSims' gallery. It's also available on my gallery, which my ID is RachelPedd. I'll put the tray files in the description box down below. You can get them from Sim File Share. But thank you so much everyone for joining me here today. I hope you all have the most amazing day ever. You all take care, and I will see you again next time. Bye.